Welcome to this journey where we're about to explore a powerful concept that can change the way you approach life. The Let Them Theory. Created by Mel and Sawyer Robbins, this transformative philosophy is not just about letting go. It's about embracing a new way of living that's freer, more peaceful, and full of possibility. But why should we let go? Why is this theory so powerful? And how can it truly impact our everyday lives? Let's dive into these questions and begin to understand the essence of the Let Them Theory. The need to let go. Life is full of challenges, and it often feels like we have to control everything to avoid disappointment or failure. We constantly try to manage how others perceive us, how our work is progressing, or even how our relationships should unfold. But the more we try to control, the more anxiety and stress we create for ourselves. Here's the reality. We can't control everything. We can't control how others feel. We can't control outcomes. And we certainly can't predict what's going to happen next. But what we can control is how we respond to life's challenges. That's where the Let Them Theory comes in. It's about letting go of the need to control and allowing life to unfold on its own terms. What is the Let Them Theory? At its core, the Let Them Theory encourages us to stop fighting against the natural flow of life. It teaches us to release our need to constantly manage and micromanage every situation. Instead, we start accepting things as they come and embracing the freedom that comes from letting go. The essence of the Let Them Theory is simple yet profound. It's about understanding that we are not responsible for everything, especially the things that are beyond our control. When we let go of unnecessary burdens and relinquish control, we create space for peace, clarity, and emotional freedom. It's not about inaction. It's about accepting what is, taking action where necessary, and trusting the process. The roots of the theory. Why it works. You might be wondering, why does letting go work? Why is this the answer to stress and burnout? To answer that, we need to understand the psychological and emotional benefits of releasing control. For starters, when we hold on too tightly to expectations, we create a mental burden. Every time we worry about things we can't change, we drain our energy, and we lose focus on what we can control: our mindset, our actions, and our responses. But when we shift to a mindset of letting them go, we start to release that tension. We stop worrying about the uncontrollable, and we focus on what's within our reach. This shift leads to emotional freedom and resilience. The power of acceptance. One of the most powerful aspects of the Let Them Theory is the focus on acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It's not about being passive or resigned to a situation. It's about embracing the reality of what is happening without resistance. The moment we accept things as they are, we stop fighting against them. This is where the real power lies. When we accept a situation, we free ourselves from the cycle of frustration and negative emotions. We can think clearly, respond calmly, and make decisions with a sense of peace. The Let Them Theory helps us cultivate this mindset, teaching us that life doesn't always go according to plan. And that's okay. In fact, sometimes the unexpected is where the magic happens. Why letting go is revolutionary. Letting go is revolutionary because it challenges everything we've been taught about success, control, and achievement. Society tells us that success comes from hard work, grit, and control. We're told to plan every detail, to obsess over outcomes, and to push ourselves relentlessly. But the Let Them Theory invites us to ask, what if success isn't about striving and controlling? What if it's about trusting the process and letting go of the outcomes? This shift in thinking can be incredibly liberating. It allows us to pursue our goals and dreams without the constant pressure of perfection or control. The first step, letting go of the need for control. The journey begins with the first step, recognizing that you don't need to control everything. Acknowledge that life is unpredictable, and that's part of its beauty. The people around you, the circumstances, and the outcomes, they're all beyond your control. What you can control is your response. Start small. Let go of little things each day. Stop worrying about things that are out of your hands. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to accept things as they are. And soon, you'll find that this practice extends to bigger challenges, allowing you to approach life with a greater sense of peace and resilience. The let them theory may seem simple at first glance, but it holds the potential to revolutionize the way you approach life. By learning to let go of the need to control everything, you can unlock freedom from anxiety, self-doubt, and stress. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the specific ways this theory can transform your life and explore the powerful benefits of releasing control. Stay with us as we continue to unfold the transformative power of the let them theory. Expanding on concepts, deepening examples, and detailing the benefits of letting go. Now that we understand the core idea of the let them theory, let's dive deeper. Let's explore why this theory works, why it's so powerful, and how it can change the way you live, think, and relate to others. The power of letting go. Why it works. The truth is, human nature makes us want control. We try to control everything, our circumstances, our emotions, and, most of all, the people around us. But what happens when we try to control others? When we demand certain behaviors, certain actions, and certain reactions from those in our lives? The simple answer is, it drains us. It leaves us emotionally exhausted, constantly fighting for control, battling for validation, and seeking approval in places where it's not guaranteed. Let's take a moment to reflect. When you try to control others, what are you really doing? You're preventing them from being who they are. You're fighting against the natural flow of their choices, their personality, and their life journey. You're trying to make them fit into a mold that only fits your needs, not theirs. The let them theory asks you to release that need. It invites you to stop trying to change people or control their actions. Instead, you simply acknowledge their right to be who they are, without interference. When you let go of that need to control, you realize how freeing it can be. You stop wasting energy. You stop fighting battles that don't need to be fought. And most importantly, you stop feeling responsible for other people's actions. How letting go leads to inner peace. The first benefit of letting go is inner peace. Think about it. When you're no longer consumed with what others are doing or not doing, your mind has the space to focus on you. You can think clearly. You can make better decisions. You can approach situations with calm instead of chaos. When Mel Robbins talks about letting go, she refers to the power of detachment. Detachment isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about stepping back and recognizing that someone else's actions don't define your happiness. It's about realizing that you can have peace regardless of external circumstances. Think about a time when someone disappointed you. How did it feel? Now, imagine how much lighter you would feel if you had let go of that disappointment as soon as it happened, without clinging to the negative emotions it stirred up. Imagine how much easier it would have been to move on with your day, knowing that the situation didn't own you. That is the power of letting go. The emotional and physical toll of holding on. Letting go doesn't just improve your mental well-being, it also affects your physical health. Studies show that people who hold on to resentment or anger experience higher levels of stress, which can lead to a host of health problems, from headaches to heart disease. When you hold on to negative emotions and refuse to let go, you're essentially poisoning your own body. The let them theory, on the other hand, teaches you to release that poison, to let go of emotions that don't serve you and reclaim your energy. Let's look at a common scenario. Imagine you're in a friendship where you're always the one putting in the effort. You're the one who initiates conversations, plans events, and makes sure things stay on track. You start feeling unappreciated. You feel drained, frustrated, and even angry. You start to question, why am I doing all the work? Now, let's apply the let them theory. Instead of continuing to push for a change in the friendship, you simply let them be who they are. You stop putting in all that effort and step back. You let go of the expectation. You allow the friendship to flow naturally without forcing it to meet your standards. What happens? You'll notice a shift. You'll either find that the friendship improves because the other person starts matching your effort, or you'll realize that it's time to move on. Either way, you've regained your peace, your energy, and your balance. The let them theory helps you recognize that when you stop over-investing in relationships that drain you, you make space for those that fulfill you. And the best part? You're no longer bound by expectations that hold you hostage. You're free. How letting go empowers you. Now, letting go doesn't mean being passive or giving up on people. Far from it. Letting go means empowering yourself. It means choosing where to invest your time, energy, and emotions. It means knowing that you deserve to be treated with respect, love, and kindness. And if others don't offer that, you're okay with stepping away. Think about a time when someone let you down in a big way. Maybe they betrayed your trust or didn't keep their word. The typical reaction might be to feel hurt and try to fix the relationship. You might blame yourself or attempt to prove to the other person that you're worth their time. But here's the twist. When you let them, you stop chasing validation. You stop trying to prove your worth. Instead, you look at the situation with clarity. This person's actions speak for themselves, and you take a step back, knowing that you deserve better than the treatment you received. The true power of letting. The true power of letting go is that it creates space for what you really want in life. It's not just about relationships. It's about your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions. When you let go of what's holding you back, you make room for what's meant for you. You create the conditions for growth. So, next time you're faced with a person or a situation that feels like it's draining you, ask yourself, am I holding on to something that no longer serves me? The answer might surprise you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is let go and watch the world open up to you. Applications in relationships, work, and self-reflection. Now that we've explored the inner workings of the let them theory, let's dive into its practical applications. How this powerful tool can improve different areas of your life. Letting go in relationships. We all have relationships, family, friends, colleagues, and even romantic partners. Each of these relationships has its own unique dynamic. And often, these dynamics can create friction, misunderstandings, and conflict. The first step in applying the let them theory to relationships is acknowledging the truth. You cannot control anyone else's actions, feelings, or decisions. We all want to feel valued and loved. But the truth is, we can't make others behave in ways that align with our needs or desires. When we try to do this, it leads to disappointment, resentment, and ultimately, exhaustion. Instead of trying to change or control others, the let them theory suggests that you accept people for who they are. This doesn't mean tolerating toxic behavior or settling for unhealthy dynamics. Instead, it's about recognizing people's boundaries, quirks, and choices without judgment. For example, if you find that a friend constantly cancels plans or doesn't prioritize you, instead of getting frustrated and trying to fix them, you let them make their own decisions. You accept their actions and stop holding on to the hope that they'll change for you. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. It allows you to focus on yourself and what you need, instead of investing endless energy in trying to change someone else. And it also gives the other person the freedom to be themselves without feeling pressured or judged. Let's talk about a common challenge in romantic relationships. Imagine you're in a relationship where communication is lacking and you feel disconnected from your partner. You may start trying to change the situation by talking to them constantly, urging them to communicate more, and even demanding they express their feelings. But what if, instead of trying to force them into communication, you let them express themselves in their own way, on their own time? You stop pushing, you stop controlling, you let them be who they are. In doing this, you'll notice that your relationship might improve in unexpected ways. By letting go of expectations, you open up space for authentic, unforced connection. And when both partners are free to express themselves without pressure, they're more likely to engage in meaningful conversations. And that's when real connection happens. Letting go at work. Now, let's apply the let them theory to the workplace. Many of us spend a significant portion of our day at work, and our work environments can sometimes feel like a battlefield. We may be faced with demanding bosses, challenging coworkers, or high-stakes projects. In these environments, it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to control outcomes, impress others, and manage every detail. But what happens when we try to control everything at work? We burn out. We stress ourselves out. We lose sight of the bigger picture. The let them theory asks you to let go of perfectionism. It invites you to stop micromanaging, stop trying to have control over every detail, and trust in the process. At work, we often believe that if we just push a little harder or make one more phone call, we'll get the desired outcome. But often, this can lead to overwork and underperformance. By letting go of the need to control every result, you can focus on doing your best without exhausting yourself. You can work with more flow and creativity, and that leads to better performance. Picture this: you're working on a project with a team. One member of the team is consistently late with their contributions, and it's causing frustration. You may be tempted to micromanage them, to take over their responsibilities, or to confront them aggressively about their delays. But instead, what if you let them handle their own timeline? What if you chose to trust that they will eventually meet the expectations? This doesn't mean ignoring the issue, but it means detaching from the need to control their behavior. By letting go, you free yourself from the stress of managing their every move. Self-reflection and personal growth. Finally, let's talk about the most important area where the let them theory can have an impact. You. We all have internal struggles, self-doubts, and moments where we feel inadequate. We strive for self-improvement and growth, but sometimes, in our pursuit of personal development, we can become too hard on ourselves. The let them theory teaches us to let go of perfection in our own lives. We don't have to get everything right all the time. We don't need to have every part of our life in perfect order. Instead of chasing after an unrealistic version of ourselves, we can let go of the pressure to be perfect and embrace progress over perfection. This can be especially powerful when dealing with personal challenges or setbacks. Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes, the let them theory encourages you to accept yourself as you are, flaws and all. Let yourself make mistakes. Let yourself fail. Let yourself learn and grow at your own pace. The beauty of this approach is that it takes the pressure off. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you can focus on becoming better without carrying the weight of perfectionism. And when you embrace this mindset, you'll find that your growth happens naturally, without force. So, whether it's in your relationships, your work, or your personal life, the Let Them theory offers a path to more peaceful, fulfilling living. It helps you let go of what you cannot control, trust the process, and allow things to unfold as they are meant to. By freeing yourself from the burden of control, you create the space for authenticity, creativity, and growth to thrive. The psychological benefits of letting go. Now, let's dive deeper into the psychological impact of the Let Them theory. It's not just about shifting your behavior toward others, it's also about transforming your inner world. Letting go isn't just a strategy for peace in your external relationships or work. It's a profound tool for mental health. The mental health benefits. For many of us, life feels like a constant juggling act. We're always trying to balance our work, relationships, and personal goals. And when things go wrong, it can feel like we're being pulled in a million directions. This stress and pressure often lead to feelings of overwhelm and anxiety. The need to control everything around us can take a massive toll on our mental well-being. The Let Them theory offers a radical shift in mindset. It encourages you to release the need for control, which is directly tied to reducing anxiety. When you stop trying to control every outcome, you're giving yourself permission to breathe, to be present, to let things unfold, and to trust that everything will work out. Reducing anxiety and stress. One of the most profound ways the Let Them theory impacts our mental health is by reducing anxiety. Think about it. When you're constantly worried about what might happen or how others might behave, you're living in a state of perpetual tension. Your mind is constantly scanning for problems to fix or scenarios to control. This habit of overthinking can create a loop of anxiety. But when you adopt the mindset of letting go, of releasing control, you free yourself from this cycle. Instead of spending mental energy on things outside your control, you begin to focus on what you can influence and, more importantly, learn to accept the things you cannot. The simple act of trusting that things will unfold as they should be incredibly calming. It's as if you're telling yourself, I don't need to have all the answers right now. I'm okay with the uncertainty. Imagine you're preparing for an important exam or presentation. The old way of thinking might lead you to obsess over every detail, review your notes obsessively, and stress about potential mistakes. But by applying the Let Them theory, you let go of the pressure. You acknowledge that you can only do your best, and the outcome will unfold as it does. This doesn't mean you're not putting in the effort. It means that you're releasing the burden of control over the results. You focus on the process instead of obsessing over the potential outcome. This shift in mindset helps to reduce anxiety and create a sense of mental ease. Building resilience through letting go. Another powerful psychological benefit of the Let Them theory is that it helps you build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges and setbacks, a key trait for overcoming life's obstacles. But how do you build resilience? The Let Them theory teaches us that letting go is crucial to developing emotional strength. When you stop clinging to the need for control, you begin to let go of the emotional weight that often holds you back. Resilience isn't about being tough or stoic in the face of adversity. It's about adapting and learning from the experience without being weighed down by it. Take someone who's gone through a difficult breakup. They might spend weeks or months dwelling on the relationship's failure, trying to figure out what went wrong, or wishing they could fix things. By applying the Let Them theory, they would learn to release their attachment to the past. They understand that their partner's choices, or the circumstances of the relationship, were beyond their control. Instead of clinging to the past and reliving the pain, They let go of what they can't change and start focusing on what's next, whether that's healing, self-care, or opening up to new possibilities. This process of letting go isn't easy, but it's the key to building emotional resilience. Over time, letting go teaches you that you can handle uncertainty and recover from setbacks. Letting go and emotional freedom. At the core of the Let Them theory is the idea of emotional freedom. Letting go is not just about releasing external control, it's also about releasing internal control. Many of us are trapped by our own emotions, by anger, fear, guilt, or regret. These emotions can shape our actions, our relationships, and our sense of self. But the Let Them theory offers a way out of this emotional prison. By learning to let go of the emotions that no longer serve us, we create space for healthier, more positive emotional experiences. For example, if you're holding on to feelings of guilt or shame, the Let Them theory encourages you to let go of that weight. It doesn't mean you ignore your mistakes, but it does mean you forgive yourself and move on. Think about someone who feels guilty about a past mistake. They've been holding on to that guilt for years, replaying the situation over and over in their mind. The Let Them theory invites them to release that guilt. They learn to forgive themselves and accept that they did the best they could at the time. Letting go of guilt frees them from emotional paralysis. They no longer live in the shadow of their past mistake, but instead live in the present, with freedom to grow and move forward. Acceptance and peace of mind. Ultimately, the Let Them theory is a tool for creating peace of mind. The peace that comes from accepting things as they are rather than constantly fighting to make them what you want them to be. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. It means recognizing what is and finding peace with it, even when things aren't perfect. When you accept that there are things you cannot control and that it's okay to let them go, you free yourself from the cycle of frustration, worry, and anxiety. Acceptance is the gateway to inner peace. When you embrace the idea that life doesn't need to be controlled or fixed, you experience a deep sense of calm and serenity. So, the Let Them theory is more than just a tool for external change. It's a transformative psychological tool. It helps you reduce anxiety, build resilience, let go of negative emotions, and ultimately find peace. By learning to release control and embrace acceptance, you unlock a deeper sense of emotional freedom and mental clarity. This inner peace doesn't just improve your mental health, it enhances every area of your life. It allows you to face challenges with grace, let go of past regrets, and live with greater emotional balance. Putting the Let Them theory into practice. Key takeaways and actionable advice. Now that we've explored the profound psychological and emotional benefits of letting go, it's time to bring it all together. How can you make the Let Them theory a part of your daily life? How can you integrate this life-changing tool into the way you think, act, and relate to others? Let's take a moment to summarize the key points and then discuss some practical steps you can take to make this philosophy a lasting part of your journey. The key takeaways from the Let Them theory. At its core, the Let Them theory is about letting go, releasing the need to control everything, and accepting life as it is. This simple concept carries powerful benefits. It reduces anxiety and stress, helping you find mental peace. It builds resilience, teaching you to bounce back from setbacks with strength. It allows for emotional freedom by freeing you from negative patterns, guilt, and regret. It creates a sense of acceptance and peace of mind, both of which allow you to live with greater ease. Whether it's letting go of control over others, expectations about outcomes, or even self-doubt, embracing the Let Them theory transforms your perspective and your life. The importance of self-awareness. One of the first steps in applying the let them theory to your life is to cultivate self-awareness. In order to let go of things that no longer serve you, you must first identify what those things are. Are you holding on to past resentments? Are you obsessing over things that are beyond your control? Are you anxious about the future or constantly seeking approval from others? By becoming aware of these patterns, you can begin to make conscious decisions to let go. Self-awareness allows you to observe your thoughts and reactions without judgment. You can pause, recognize when you're clinging to something, and then consciously choose to release it. This awareness is the first step toward true freedom. Letting go of perfectionism. A common trap that many of us fall into is the need for perfection. We hold ourselves to impossible standards, whether in our personal life, work, or relationships. The let them theory offers a way out of this cycle of perfectionism. Instead of striving for an ideal that's impossible to maintain, let go of the belief that you need to be perfect. Embrace the imperfections of life. Let go of the need to control outcomes and focus instead on doing your best. Remember, life is about progress, not perfection. When you let go of perfectionism, you free yourself from constant self-criticism and open the door to growth. Embracing trust and patience. Another key element of the let them theory is the idea of trust and patience. Letting go requires a certain level of faith that things will unfold as they are meant to. It's about trusting the process of life, even when things aren't going the way you imagined. Trust that sometimes things happen for reasons you can't immediately understand. You don't have to control every step of the journey. This trust leads to patience, the ability to wait without anxiety or fear. It's about accepting that some things take time, and that's okay. Trusting the process doesn't mean being passive. It means staying engaged, but letting go of the attachment to specific outcomes. Taking action while letting go. It's important to remember that letting go doesn't mean inaction. You can take purposeful action while still releasing control over the results. Letting go is about giving your best effort and then allowing life to take its course. For example, if you're working toward a big goal, don't obsess over the final result. Focus on the steps you can take, the effort you can put in, and then let go of the anxiety about what will happen next. This shift in mindset allows you to move forward with energy and intention, but without the heavy burden of expectations. Practical steps to integrate letting go into your life. Now that you understand the core of the let them theory, here are some practical steps to integrate this mindset into your daily life. 1. Practice mindfulness. Stay present. The more you can stay in the moment, the less you will obsess over the past or future. Mindfulness allows you to recognize when you're clinging to something and helps you release it. 2. Identify your fears. Recognize what you're afraid to let go of, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. Identifying these fears is the first step to freeing yourself from them. 3. Release control. Gradually. You don't have to let go of everything at once. Start small by letting go of minor things you don't have control over. As you build trust in the process, you can gradually apply it to bigger areas of your life. 4. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself during this process. Letting go can feel difficult at first, and you may face resistance. Don't be hard on yourself if it takes time to fully embrace this mindset. 5. Surround yourself with support. Share this journey with others who support your desire for change. A community of like-minded people can help reinforce your commitment to letting go and moving forward. 6. Reflect regularly. Take time each day to reflect on what you've let go of. Celebrate the small wins and take note of how you feel as you release more control over time. Final thoughts: the power of letting go. The let them theory is a simple but profound way of living that can change your life. By letting go of the things you cannot control, you open yourself up to a life of peace, clarity, and emotional freedom. Life is uncertain, and while we may not be able to control everything, we can control how we respond. By embracing this mindset, you can stop worrying about the things outside your influence and start focusing on what really matters. So remember, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to control every outcome. Let them go. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust that the life you're meant to live will unfold in its own time. Let go, and let life flow. Thank you for taking this journey with us. If you've found value in the let them theory and its transformative potential, consider making it a part of your daily practice. Remember, the path to peace, resilience, and freedom starts with one simple step: letting go.